This broadcast is presented by authority of the International Olympic Committee and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any...
Imagination thought it would be?
It was. You go out there and you have to block everything out, and once you get going, you can enjoy everything and look around you and say, you know, you're at the Olympics and you're skating great, and you'll always remember that.
Several years ago, Tara Lipinski never dreamed she'd even qualify for these Winter Games. But that changed last year when she became the youngest U.S. and world champion in history. Although recently she's been eclipsed by her teammate Michelle Kwan, she still says that's a pretty good spot to be in.
I love being in this spot, you know, being the underdog. I've done so well this year, being second and coming up and getting ready to compete and pretty motivated for tomorrow.
Well, what do you do now between the short program and the free skate? What do you do mentally? Where do you go, or do you just live your life?
Well, you just, you know, do normal things and have fun and relax, and, you know, you feel a little relieved after the short, so it's a little nicer.
If last night's performance is any indication, Tara is close to achieving her lifelong dream of climbing the Olympic podium. Well, that is some battle, huh? Reminder that you can watch the ladies' long program Friday night on CBS. Todd Eldredge in the stands with his buddy.
The battle, wouldn't it?
Yes, indeed.
Coming up on our Olympic coverage this morning on CBS, Hattie Kaufman came all the way to Nagano, and all she got was a lousy T-shirt. A little bitty one at that. We'll take a look at the souvenir drought. And we'll report on a champion cross-country skier who's taking heat for putting sport ahead of family. Hollywood plans to put the games on the big screen with a production of Olympic proportions. And the nanny is in Nagano. Join Fran Drescher as she and Jose Diaz-Balart hit the town.
Place hosting the biggest winter sporting event in the world, you'd think you'd be able to find an Olympic souvenir, right? Let's give it a try. It's packed. Looks like people are buying, so this must be the right place. I don't know. He's not impressed. Now I see why. Empty shelves, bare racks, and if it's not sold out already, it's going fast. Here's a T-shirt. Too small. All I wanted was a shirt large enough for my husband. You'd think a place called the Snowlet House, the official Olympic store, would have something, right? No sweatshirts, no T-shirts. And here's something with snowlets. It's a toenail clipper. I don't think so. Not even a snowlet for the kids. This translates to, we're all sold out of stuffed snowlets. I made my way to the Chuadori, Nagano's Rodeo Drive. The pickings weren't any better.
You know, they're sold out of almost everything. Snowlets, T-shirts, everything.
Our grandchildren want snowlets, and there are no more. We've talked to people in the stores, and they say they're gone throughout Japan. Even Tokyo doesn't have them.
After talking to those folks, I too got snowlet fever.
Hey, I wonder where they got their snowlets.
Yes.
This line?
So much so, I was willing to stand in line. 4 minutes? And I waited. Finally. And what a disappointment. Not a snowlet in sight. But amazingly, the place was mobbed. Anything and everything with a snowlet cartoon on it is a hot commodity. No matter how absurd. There's a lot of food left, but I don't know anyone who would want a homemade buckwheat seed cake. Much of what's left here, snowlets or not, is what all the early smart shoppers didn't take. Wonder what this is. It looks like a horse blanket. At last, something the folks at home would really want. Ooh, the last black hat. So after half a day and almost $50, this is my total take. 2 hats. But hey, I got snowlets. Back to you.
Nagano's Rodeo Drive. We'll see if Jose Diaz-Balart and Fran Drescher have any better luck when they hit the stores our next half hour.
$50 for 2 hats. I'm still worrying about that. And we want to get you the latest news this morning, so we go to Cynthia Bowers in New York. Good morning, Cynthia.
Morning, Cynthia.
Good morning, Mark and Jane. Well, this morning, United Nations Secretary General Kofi...
ability. Combination coming up now, triple Lutz into double loop. Lutz, double loop, beautifully landed. Next element is the triple flip that she missed at the U.S. National Championships. Connecting steps here, right into triple flip. A little cautious on the landing, but what a huge hurdle. All the risk is behind her now. She has a double axel. She shouldn't have any trouble with that. She knows she's done it.
Look at the joy on her face.
She looks so tiny. She skates with such maturity. She has the heart of a champion, and she's really had a great time enjoying her first Olympic experience. Final combination spin. Look at the speed, the position. Perfect short program. Tara Lipinski.
How about that look on her face? That performance landed Lipinski in second place going into the long program, which you can see Friday night on CBS.
It's so important that she's having so much fun. That's really what it's all about.
Doing that on the ice.
Still to come, a controversial figure in sport. A sport that has a little controversy. You'll find out why a cross-country mother is putting her Olympic dream ahead of her family.
Amazing job in the world, I get to add shopping with the nanny to that list.
The last leg of Fran Drescher's long journey from Hollywood to Nagano was by train, and I was at the station to meet her.
There she is. Hi, Fran. How are you? Nice to see you, Jose.
Hi, Jose. How you doing? Nice to meet you.
Welcome to Nagano.
Thank you. Happy to be here.
What do you want to do first?
I thought that we were heading down to the village to do a little shopping.
Shopping?
We have done nothing. We've only just arrived.
I'm the perfect shopping guy.
Okay.
Ready to go?
Yeah, let's go.
Great, let's go. So this is the main shopping area, right?
I know. I feel like I'm in downtown Flushing, Queens. Nothing is the way I imagined it to be. Tokyo looks like, you know, every American city that you'd ever want to see.
After Tokyo, Fran made her way towards the Nagano area by bus with a group from CBS, where at a roadside rest stop, she had her first encounter with a Japanese toilet.
It was like a porcelain little 12-inch trough. That was flat on the floor. And here I'm wearing a bodysuit, you know, like one of these fleece bodysuits. So, you know, how do you figure that out? You have to take it off from here, and then you've got this long thing, and you don't want it to get wet or go in the trunk. I mean, it was just unbelievable. So weird. But, you know, I mean, I have camped and hiked, so, you know, I have kind of...
Similar.
I've done it in the woods before, I'm proud to say.
First stop, a doll store. And I get a currency exchange lesson, Fran Drescher style.
Oh, look at this. Now, you see, the way to figure out what the yen is, they explained to me, is you take 2 zeros off of the end, and then you have approximately what it would cost in dollars. So this would be $480.
You got it.
So that's why we're not getting it. Oh, is this beautiful?
A flower shop catches Fran's eye, and I offer to buy her a bunch. But somehow, she comes away with 2.
These look like they would complement it very nicely. See? Look. See? Don't you think that would make a nice arrangement?
Do you?
And, you know, it has kind of an Asian feeling to it.
It does.
I like it. I love flowers.
Then they're yours.
Okay. Do I know how to work a cute guy or what?
Fran mentions that soon her character on The Nanny will be getting married. So I suggest let's check out some wedding kimonos.
That would be great because, you know, we haven't quite decided what I'm going to be wearing when Miss Fine marries Mr. Sheffield. After 5 years, we're going to get married.
Could it be a Japanese-style wedding?
That would be great, you know. I've got the geisha girl in me. Don't you worry about it.
Really?
I'm going to keep this man very, very happy.
So, Fran, what do you think?
You know, I think this is definitely a possible way to go.
Oh, before you have to do
different.
the whole look. You have to do the whole look. Let me get your cap.
Look at this. It's a plastic
Try this one.
hair thing. Oh.
See, now you'll get an idea of what you'll look like, the traditional Japanese wedding.
Look, it even has the widow's peak. It's a good match. Look, it's that easy. Who needs a hairdresser? I'm like a geisha girl now.
Very nice.
Arigato.
Well, Fran, once again, the center of attention here in Japan, as she is throughout the world. And as she mentioned, the nanny will be getting a wedding proposal coming up right after the Olympics, as a matter of fact, which will lead to a tense cliffhanger at the end of the season in May. Mark and Jane?
Do you think they'll get married, Jose? Do you think they will? What do you think?
I think that they may get married, and they're probably going to get married, but there's a huge issue coming up in May, I'm sorry, which I don't really know the details about because she was too busy shopping to tell me the exact details.
She said you were cute. How many yen did you have to pay her for that?
All the yen in Japan.
No, I have to say, though, I like the look. You know, Fran Drescher is quite the dresser.
Yes.
And I like the little look with the kimono and the baseball cap together. I thought that was sort of
Did you like the
East meets
wig?
West. No, the wig looked like real hair. Like she said, it had the widow's peak. Excellent.
Matter of fact, I bought it. I'm going to be wearing it when we get back to New York.
Did she talk about any hockey players? Because she said that she's a big hockey fan. Who's she looking forward to seeing?
Actually, she really was looking forward to seeing the Americans win the gold.
Yeah.
Well,
not going to happen, but she is happy to see, she ran into, as a matter of fact, a Canadian, member of the Canadian team, not for hockey, but for another sport. And she was like, oh, okay, well, if the Americans aren't in, then I hope you guys win, which I think is a fair bet to say that they're probably in the finals, huh, guys?
although we have to say that the Americans did win the gold. The women.
The women won the gold.
There you go.
And the men won a one-way ticket back home.
There you go. What do you have coming up next, Jane?
The Olympics headed to the big screen and a theater near you. We'll show you what we're talking about when we come back.
The Olympic Winter Games are almost over, but that doesn't mean you won't be able to watch them again in all their glory. Armin Katayan of CBS Sports has the big picture.
The Olympics have always seemed larger than life. Now, for the first time, they will be. From the producers of two of Hollywood's blockbuster movies, E.T. and Jurassic Park, comes the first ever large format film on the Olympic Games through the eyes of Oscar award-winning director Keith Merrill.
What we're trying to do is to capture those incredible moments that translate to that giant screen. The great thing about large format films is that they're able to take people where they can't go and give them an experience that they can't have. Show them what they can't see, let them experience what they're never likely to experience on their own.
I'm standing right next to the women's downhill course, one of the many sites being covered by the large format cameramen. They're following dozens of athletes here, including America's Peekaboo Street.
Olympic glory will transform an ordinary moviegoer into an Olympic athlete, magnifying the moves of a ski, a skate, a sled, onto a screen the size of a small building.
This format is so large, you get a lot of peripheral vision on the screen, so it feels like you're flying down the course.
that's what will distinguish this film from television. When you see that person, coming around the corner, it's going to be, they're going to be 55 feet high with absolute perfect resolution.
Almost a 32.
For the last 2 weeks, 6 of the world's best cinematographers have moved from skiing to bobsledding to hockey, focusing their lenses on singular moments of Olympic glory. When all is shot and done, 300,000 feet of film will tell a story Olympic in size, scope, and spirit.
And I think the whole idea of the Olympics of bringing peoples together and the brotherhood of man and 16 days of peace and all those things, I've been inspired by that. It goes way beyond the athletics. It goes way beyond Peekaboo Street and a fantastic performance and a gold medal and all those things. I think somehow to me that's the essence of the Olympics, and I hope we capture some of that.
Children rule the world. That's the song in the background. 40-minute film is scheduled to premiere in November on that big screen, and you will be in the Olympics.
Ooh, I'm anxious to relive some of those Olympic moments, especially by then. And you really relive them big time when it's on IMAX.
We'll be back.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, innovators of run-flat technology.
Invitation now to join us tomorrow for more Olympic coverage. Our Jose Diaz-Balart gets a drum lesson from a man who knows how to keep a beat.
And I'll have the profile of a Japanese skier who will finally complete his Olympic dream nearly 60 years after he made Japan's national team.
Now, we have a broadcasting note about a special series we'll be bringing you next week when we get back in the studio on CBS This Morning.
If you wear makeup, if you wash your hair, you give your baby a bath, you may be one of millions of consumers whose health could be at risk.
Roberta Baskin of CBS News has learned that a common detergent in many shampoos and bubble baths has been found to cause cancer in animals.
It's an important story that you don't want to miss. That's next week on CBS This Morning.
Now, we want to take a moment to remind you that there's great Olympic coverage ahead tonight on CBS. Tune in for Jim Nance, who'll show you how the comeback kid, the Herminator, Austrian Hermann Maier, performed in today's giant slalom.
And you'll also get to see the exciting women's slalom races. And you can watch American speed skater Chris Whitty's performance in the 1,000-meter competition. You met her for the second time earlier tonight. You saw the medals.
But you didn't see her move on the ice. You'll get to see her move on the ice.
Wait till you see Chris move on the ice. Exciting young woman.
Yes, indeed. Tomorrow will be Friday, our last broadcast here in Nagano. But there's still a lot of great coverage up, so hang tough.
And women's figure skating, the free program, the free skate program coming up tomorrow night on CBS.
See you in the morning, everyone.
I think they were going to trick me with that one, but I happen to know. Thank you very much. 50 in the valleys. They're getting actually quite a warming trend. A little bit of rain coming on Friday, and 60 along the coast in Japan. Thanks for asking. What do we have around here? We've got some pretty nice weather, as a matter of fact. We've got partly sunny conditions, 52 degrees presently. As we look out the window at downtown, humidity 71%. The wind is west at 16 miles an hour. That barometer is 29.73. It is falling. Wonder what it looks like in the Poconos. Well, we'll get to that in just a second, because first I want to show you the cloud cover that we have around here. And you can see the clouds are swirling around. There they go. And we're actually being left with a few partly sunny skies for us this afternoon. So that is a terrific look, I'm going to push on. I've disappeared here, but that's okay. We've got some rain showers up in the northeast and also in California. What a tremendous amount of rain they continue to have out there. They have got another 2 inches of rain coming for the wettest February, just about to make the record in San Francisco ever in the city by the bay. Now down through the south, they're going to be getting quite a few thunderstorms down through there later on. So we are looking for some pretty violent weather down through the south. But for us, it looks pretty nice, and you can see that any of the precipitation is swirling away from us even as we speak. So a nice day coming for us. Temperatures across the nation today, they are certainly mild. We've got temperatures that are in the 80s down in Florida. Look all up and down the eastern seaboard with readings in the 50s down to 60 degrees. So it's really, really nice through here. Where it is colder than normal is down through Arizona, where they could be getting up to 2 inches of snow through some of the mountains of Flagstaff and Mount Lemmon. So they're getting ready for some heavy snow. But the temperatures through the Dakotas and the northern plains continue to be well above normal. In some cases, up to 15 degrees above normal. Temperatures right now in Philadelphia, 52 degrees, 55 already in Atlantic City. We've been seeing some pretty good winds, though. While they are a steady wind westerly at 16 miles an hour, we've been seeing some gusts today up to 23 miles an hour. So a little bit breezy, but certainly a nice temperature considering normally we should be about 10 degrees lower than that. You want to see maybe the Poconos? I would love to see what the Poconos are up to today. And there you see, people are still trying to ski. They're trying to do their own Olympics up in the Poconos on a Big Boulder. A little bit of rain on the lens there, as you can see. They did have a chance of some sprinkles this morning, and obviously they have had some. But snow remains on the ground. A lot of that perhaps man-made because nature is just not making much snow these days. So temperatures, as you can see, even as you head towards the north, continue to be very, very mild. Mostly cloudy is what we are looking for tomorrow. We should be seeing about a 40% chance of some rain, but it's going to be dry for the rest of our day today and very mild. Look at this. We could be getting up to 58 degrees this afternoon. Our overnight low with partly cloudy skies about 40 degrees. But the temperatures continue to be mild, 55 on Friday. The weekend, maybe a little bit brisk on Saturday, but you'll see some sunshine and 48 degrees on Sunday. We're looking for a pretty nice day. The better of the 2 days, actually, will be coming on Sunday with 52 degrees. And then on Monday, a nice start, and the high in the afternoon, again, 56 degrees. Could be seeing some clouds build, and we're watching to see maybe we'll be getting into the 60-degree mark as the week progresses, but also precipitation could be above average next week as well, so we'll be watching that for you as well. But enjoy the relatively mild weather out there today. We'll go back to you, Pat.
And thanks for the Japanese forecast, Carol. The aches and pains of getting older do not have to tarnish our golden years. Here are some fitness tips for seniors in our Eye on Health.
And, you know, our guy always, likes to look his best.
Well, so Yuki decided to challenge the barriers of language and style and get himself a haircut.
A touch-up of Americana. Then again, maybe not.
You gotta get a haircut?
Sorry, 10 minutes.
10 minutes?
Okay.
I can wait, no problem. I've been here 2 weeks, I can wait.
Wait for the teased curly look over a cup of espresso.
Can't beat that.
How about the business person's pullback? Maybe Bangs or Us? Oh, has it come to this?
Yuki, you're gonna come back looking like me.
That was our friend from WJZ in Baltimore. Here in Nagano, I'm on my own.
Can you do the afro?
Afro.
Afro?
Oh, okay.
Okay, if you say so. Oh, boy. I'll take care of that. I'll do that. What's your favorite team?
49.
49ers? I'm in trouble. Jim, I love you, but don't get too close. No, Jim, not up there. Not up there. So, what'd you think of the Sixers trade?
Trade?
I guess you didn't hear about it yet. Okay.
Made it. No gashes, no holes, not intentional, no sweat.
Thank you for coming. Tell your friend.
Yuki's Notebook continues tonight at 11.
The guy needed a stepladder to dust Yuki off there.
Just about. That's Eyewitness News at noon. I'm Pat Shiraki.
I'm Brendan Brooks. For all of us here, thanks for joining us. Be sure to join Larry Kane and Don Stenslin tonight for Eyewitness News at 6. We'll see you in the morning.
Bye.
And Jim and I really wanted to take him out with us so he could see the sights, see the venues. But, Jim, it didn't work out that way, did it?
No, we went looking for him today, and he wasn't where we left him, so we think he must have busted out on his own.
Let me out. Let me out. Oh, I couldn't breathe. Oh, here's my chance. He's in the bathroom. I'm out of here.
Stanley!
Look at all the people. Nice shoes. Don't you step on me. Oh, he'll never find me in here. I'll just hide in the trees. He won't see me.
Stanley! Stanley! Come on, man.
Hi, I'm from New Jersey. Where are you from?
I come from Chicago.
Those are some really nice pins. You got one for me? I'll take one back to New Jersey with me. Oh, hey, careful now. That's gonna hurt. Hey, buddy, what are you doing? Oh, they're even taking my picture. They love me over here. Ah, finally, Nagano, 1998. Let's go. I made it all the way to the gold medal stand. Now I just need a medal. If I can only find a medal.
Well, we've got his medal, but we can't find Stanley.
No, we haven't found him yet. I think he's still out in the town, so we'll have to go looking for him when we're done this shot.
All right, you go look for Stanley, and I'll take care of the rest of this right now. We'll come back in just a little bit. All right, we'll talk about Stanley in just a bit. Right now, we want to bring you up on the news of the day over here in Nagano. Men's hockey, Team Canada will not play for the gold. Here's why. Canada and the Czech Republic. Check the highlights. 63 seconds to go. Eric Lindros from behind the net feeds Trevor Linden. It's a 1-1 game. They played an extra 10-minute period. No score. They went to a shootout. Each team gets 5 shots from 5 different players. Robert Reichel for the Czech Republic went low and good on Patrick Waugh. Then Eric Lindros had the best chance for Team Canada, but he was stoned by a sprawling Dominik Hasek. The Dominator made it happen for his team. The Czech Republic wins 2-1. They will play for gold. Team Canada for the bronze. And it kind of surprised me a little bit. Wayne Gretzky didn't get a shot in the shootout at all. I'm sure they'll be talking about that for a while. Coming up later on today on Eyewitness News at 6 o'clock, the sports team will have more on the Canada-Czech Republic game. And also they will have, I'm sure, a lot more on Team USA leaving this area and not leaving their accommodations in such good shape. So we'll talk about that in a little bit later on today. Going on right now here in Nagano, you have figure skating going on. You will see that later on tonight on Eyewitness News and on CBS during prime time. Figure skating, the ladies' free program featuring Kwan and Lipinski. You have the 4-man bobsled as well as alpine skiing, the women's giant slalom event. So a full day of Olympic action right here on CBS and KYW3 as the games start to wind down. And we're almost out of here. Believe it or not, this is our, last weekday morning show, isn't it?
This is it. This is Friday. For 2 more days, we're going.
Have you had fun?
Yeah, I had a lot of fun.
Yeah, we've had a great time over here. Hopefully, all of you back there have had a great time as well. And I think Stanley had a great time, but we still can't find him.
You got to put an all-points bulletin out for him, you. Can't come home without him.
We definitely will.
Right,
that's true. Some kids will be very upset.
Hey, fellas, we're looking forward to you coming home. You've done a great job.
Great job.
Thank you.
Right,
thank you. Take care.
I think they may have sold his plane ticket to buy souvenirs and lost him on purpose.
Oh, no. Poor Stanley.
Remember to stay tuned to Channel 3 throughout the Winter Olympic Games. All the action right here on KYW. Today's events coming your way just a couple of minutes, beginning at 7 a.m. And this evening's Olympic coverage, it starts at 8.
Members of the U.S. team who trashed their rooms after being eliminated from competition. Good morning from Nagano, Japan. I'm Mark McEwen.
And I'm Jane Robelo. It's Friday, and we're saving some of our best for last, including a wake-up call from Japan's past. We're marching to the beat of a different drummer this morning.
And now that we've gotten your attention and you're awake, why not take a bath? The water's perfect if you're a tea bag. Jump in with us this morning, the 20th of February. There it is, sun rising over Hakuba on a day where there will be a couple of showdowns on the ice that we will have answers to. Canada lost to Czechoslovakia in one showdown. And we have Tara Lipinski and Michelle Kwan skating today on another showdown on the ice.
Dueling for the gold, as it were. Welcome back to Nagano. Well, the U.S. men's hockey team has now added insult to injury.
Now, it appears some American players didn't take their elimination from the tournament very well. Armin Katayan of CBS Sports has more on that. Armin?
Well, it's another black mark for the hockey team. You know, to the words frustration and disappointment over the performance of the men's hockey team, you can now add regret. Not because of their dismal effort here at the games, but their senseless actions following their final game.
After a listless 4-1 loss to the Czech Republic Wednesday night, which eliminated Team USA from the Olympic Games, some American NHL stars were angered by their early exit.
We were just a big disappointment. It was the biggest waste of time over here. I hate to be negative, but this is disgusting. We're not even close. I don't even know what place we're in.
A handful of team members were so upset that they returned to the Athletes' Village and trashed 3 of their apartments, causing $3,000 damage to floors, walls, and beds. In addition, 6 chairs and a fire extinguisher were thrown into a garden area 5 floors below. A USA Hockey executive called such behavior, quote, an unfortunate incident we deeply regret, a feeling echoed by NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman.
The conduct of the 2 and 3 players, and we don't know who they are yet, is not acceptable, but let's not overstate the case here.
Today, top Olympic officials made clear there was no connection between the American hockey players' actions and a serious injury suffered by Canadian bobsledder Matt Hindle, who was in the Athletes' Village earlier that night.
There is no connection between the incident involving the plexiglass and the cutting of the Canadian bobsledder to ice hockey. Our ice hockey players were not in the village at that time. It was not even their floor.
Hindle was walking past the American apartments when he was struck by a 5 by 10-inch piece of flying glass, plummeting from the 6th floor balcony. The glass ripped through 4 layers of Hindle's clothing, tearing a deep gash in his left shoulder, one that required 5 stitches to close. Today, despite his injury, Hindle competed in the 4-man bobsled.
The doctors have told me that it might hold up, and it's the Olympic Games, what I've been training for, so I'm going to go out and compete no matter what. So that's what I'm going to do.
Team USA members have been unavailable for comment. They left Nagano shortly after this team photo was taken, but before local Olympic officials were allowed by the USOC to investigate and assess the damage done by the hockey players. That investigation and any fines or suspensions is now in the hands of the NHL.
You know, this is not the first time the USA has been the subject of controversy here. Several of the team stars were seen partying at local bars well into the wee hours of the morning on a number of occasions here, causing other members of the squad to question the team's commitment to winning a medal.
It is so upsetting, Armin. Has it spilled over to any other U.S. athletes?
Well, yeah, a whole team got it. I mean, the U.S. women's team, which won the gold, obviously, which should be out doing whatever they'd like to do, are now subject to a curfew, which keeps them in by midnight. So because of the men's misbehavior, they lose.
And so many people, of course, it's upsetting to Americans, but in Japan, it takes on a whole new context.
Well, it does, because I think Americans, and me being one of the Americans that are here, have gone out of their way to try to show the Japanese people that we're a little different than what we may appear to be, and I think this is a black mark for all of us.
In a country where there's no graffiti and so forth, will the NHL take any action against these players?
Well, that's a good question. A lot of the stuff coming out of the press conference today was spin control. The NHL was doing it. The USOC was doing it. NAC was doing it. It'll be interesting to see just how far the NHL goes, whether there'll be any suspensions.
Will they name names?
Well, they say they will, but the guys are out of town now, and it'll be interesting to see what Gary Bettman and the boys do when they get back to the States.
Armin Katayan, thank you.
Thank you.
Mark?
Thank you, Jane. Thank you, Armin. Well, let's still talk hockey. Different story, though. Olympic competition just doesn't get any more exciting than it got today in the men's semifinal hockey match today between Team Canada and the Czech Republic. Sean McDonough and John Davidson of CBS Sports have more on the wild shootout at Big Hat.
2 days ago, the Czech Republic goaltender Dominik Hasek almost single-handedly sent the Americans back to the United States. Today, he did it to Team Canada. A brilliant goaltending battle between Patrick Waugh and Hasek. The Czech Republic won to advance to the gold medal game. Scoreless through 2 periods. The first goal of the game, midway through the third, on a drive by defenseman Yuri Slager through a screen. It was the first point of the Olympics for Slager, and the Czechs celebrated on their bench. It stayed 1-0 until just more than a minute remained. Eric Lindros from behind the net net, sets up Trevor Linden. His shot deflected by the defenseman Richard Smalek over Hasek's shoulder. 1-1, and that's the way regulation time finished. The two teams played 10 minutes of scoreless sudden death overtime. A coin flip determined the order for a 5-man shootout for each team. Theo Fleury of Canada went first, and Hasek stopped him as Wayne Gretzky grimaced on the Canadian bench. The first shooter for the Czech Republic, Robert Reichel. He clanged one in off the goal post, and it was 1-0 Czech Republic. Still that score as the fourth Canadian shooter, Eric Lindros, went in. He was robbed on an acrobatic stop by Hasek. Then a chance to clinch it for Jaromir Jagr, but he hit the goal post, and Canada was clinging to life. But they needed a goal from their final shooter of the shootout, Brendan Shanahan. As he went in and made his move on Hasek, Hasek did not go for the fake. Shanahan denied. Wayne Gretzky and the Canadians will now play for the bronze medal.
I don't know, 55 minutes we were a better team, and we deserve to win. You know, they were lucky to tie the game.
Well, it's devastation. You know, it's the worst feeling I think I've ever had in hockey. It's just disappointment, and for me, you know, there's no question it's my last opportunity. I don't think there's any big secret about that, and probably, for that matter, my last international competition.
I'm joined by John Davison. J.D., tremendously disappointing Olympics for the Americans and the Canadians, but this was a great game.
It was a great game, and if you take your, you take away the flags everybody's wearing around here, pulling for their own countries, and you think about the game itself, Sean, it was wonderful. It's strange to think, though, both Canada, the U.S., and then add Sweden to it. The three favorites going in are bumped already out of this thing. Dominik Hasek was simply spectacular, deserved what he got, and, you know, the emotions of this thing are really something. Brendan Shanahan apologized to the entire country of Canada for not scoring in the shootout, the last chance that Canada had. The emotions are something. It was just a great hockey game.
And you heard the comment from Wayne Gretzky. He added later in that interview that at least the Canadians conducted themselves with class on and off the ice. That was a not-so-subtle dig at Team USA. Its team had trouble on and off the ice here at Big Hat. Final score in the shootout, 2-1 for the Czech Republic. It's on to the gold medal game for the Czechs.
Well, the look on Wayne Gretzky's face says it all. It's been since 1952 since the Canadian hockey team has won the gold at the Olympics. The Czech team plays for the gold this weekend against the winner of the semifinal game between Russia and Finland. That game is still going on right now, Jay.
And coming up on our Olympic coverage this morning on CBS, we'll have a preview of the big showdown in ladies figure skating tonight on CBS. Also, he made Japan's Olympic team nearly 60 years ago, but is only now realizing his Olympic dream.
We're going to meet a master drummer who will keep the beat for the closing ceremony. Plus, they lead by example and inspire by accomplishment. They're the athletes who've moved all of us. We'll be back.
On this morning's Olympic coverage, here's a look at your weather.
Good morning, everybody. We've got some temperatures in the 30s right now. Pretty nice day coming for us, though. Variable cloudiness, a 40% chance of showers. A high this afternoon of 52 degrees. Then tonight, mostly cloudy and 38 degrees. Clearing out and drying out for the weekend. We've got temperatures in the 50s.
Here he is. That's Herman Maier, the Herminator, at the medal ceremony after winning the men's giant slalom.
It's his second gold medal since that highlight reel crash. Remember that? Ground control to Major Tom in the men's downhill. The legend of Maier grows, and to see the other skiers, the greatest in the world, looking at him. If you could have hushed tones as you're looking at someone, they had hushed tones.
He's a guy who came in here knowing he was good enough to win the gold all the way around and just did it.
Yeah, had a gold medal crash and 2 gold medal performances. It's been almost 50 years since a pair of American women have been poised to take Olympic figure skating's top 2 spots. Going into tonight's long program, Michelle Kwan is in first place. She's followed by fellow American Tara Lipinski, and third is Russian Maria Butirskaya. China's Lu Chen is in fourth place, with Russian Irina Slutskaya in fifth. Sixth place is Sura Bonali of France. Today I went to the ladies' practice with 5-time U.S. champion Todd Eldridge. We watched as the skaters fine-tune their programs. Now, you said that she's not going to show us everything out here on the ice. What is she going to show us?
Well, usually you just try and get your legs going a little bit in the practice session, and you run through a few things in the program. Like here, she'll do her triple up tonight, she'll be happy.
Do you work on things that you are shaky with in this? Do you work on things that you're strong with in this to build confidence?
I think you work on everything a little bit. You know, you work things out, you work the bugs out, I guess. You know, but you do kind of highlight the things that you know you're going to do well to try and help your confidence for tonight.
Look at that.
2 years ago, that would have been totally different. Now it's great.
Stablemate, same coach. How proud are you of Tara and how far she's come?
Unbelievable. I mean, to know when she first came to him, that was the first time she'd made it to the World Championships, and you know, to see her improve so much over the last 2 years, to be a world champion, to be sitting second right now, and knocking on the door for Olympic gold. That was great.
Nice.
That was her trademark, the triple loop. She'll be happy when she lands that tonight.
But, you know what's fun for us? Occasionally, and she is 15, but occasionally you see the woman that's coming out of there.
Yeah,
you can see the future. Tara. If it plays out the way you think it's going to play, and we do have Tara and Michelle fighting for gold and silver, tell me about the fight for third. Budashkaya, you've got Liu Chen around.
Well, you know, that's going to be interesting. I mean, the third spot right now is kind of up for grabs, and Budashkaya has skated pretty well so far this year in certain competitions. So she's been skating well, and she looks pretty good here. Liu Chen is, I mean, it would be a great thing for her to get into the medals after having not such a great year last year. You know, I'm sure she's looking forward to trying to get out there, and she skated well in the short program, so she's looking to get out there and put it down along.
What does Bonelli have to do to get up and maybe grab a bronze?
Well, you know, I mean, if she goes out and she skates very well, I don't know where she is in the draw, but if she skates very well, then, you know, that can put some pressure on the other girls to go out and to do better than that.
What are the strengths of Slutskaya?
Well, she's got very, like you said earlier about Michelle's jump, she's got very athletic jumps. She gets pretty good height on her jumps. So that's something, oops, she'll want to iron that out before tonight.
I think so. Now, when she hits the ice now, is it like, well, I got to work on that, or is it like, oh, man, I'm not having a good day?
Well, more than likely, she'll just go back and work on it once she's done with her music. And like I said, iron that out and make sure it won't happen tonight.
Reminder that you won't want to miss the ladies' Olympic figure skating finale tonight on CBS Primetime. Let's get you caught up on the latest news this morning. For that, we go to Cynthia Bowers in New York. Morning, Cynthia.
Good morning, and thank you, Mark. Well, this morning, a draft report by the chief United Nations weapons inspector claims Iraq may possess enough material to make up to 200 tons of the deadly nerve agent VX. Richard Butler also says Iraq continues to hide information about its ability to produce and deliver weapons of mass destruction. In this country, 2 men are being held in Nevada this morning, charged with possession of a substance believed to be the deadly toxin anthrax. Jim Stewart has been following this story and joins us now from our Washington Bureau with details. Hello, Jim.
Good morning, Cynthia. FBI and military lab specialists today will continue their careful examination of a car seized in Las Vegas Wednesday that may either hold the deadly bacteria anthrax or, as the lawyers for the 2 men arrested in the case insist, actually an experimental antidote for the deadly toxin. As the FBI made clear when it made the arrest, however, it had no time to wait around before moving in.
These individuals pose a potential chemical and biological threat to our community. It was suspected that these individuals were in possession of a dangerous biological chemical, anthrax.
Agents recovered several duffel bags from the rear of a car they later wrapped in plastic and took to a laboratory for testing. One of the suspects is well known to federal agents. Larry Wayne Harris, a microbiologist, was arrested in 1995 after investigators found bubonic plague vials in his home. Now, the intent here is still unclear, and intent is terribly important in cases like these because it's not illegal to own a deadly bacteria. You can even order them through the mail. It's the intent, and the intent in this case is far from clear. Cynthia?
Jim, why would these 2 men be developing an antidote anyway?
Well, one of the men, Mr. Harris, had actually written a book, a 131-page book called bacteriological warfare in North America, in which he proposed anecdotes, cures, if you will, for many of these toxins. He had been promoting this in tapes, on radio shows. He had even given an interview in Las Vegas 2 days before this arrest was made. So he has a background in attempting to come up with cures for what he believes someday will be a deadly attack by either chemical or biological agents on the United States. Cynthia?
I think one of the things that surprises us is that it's not illegal to have these things.
It is not illegal to possess. It is illegal to possess them with the intent, obviously, to do harm. They can even be ordered through the mail through a Rockville, Maryland bacteriological company that's been well written up, that serves as, if you will, as a major test tube for universities who do legitimate research. And Mr. Harris, of course, was a microbiologist and ordered these through the mail.
Frightening thing to consider. Thank you, Jim Stewart in Washington. In the Persian Gulf, U.S. officials are considering whether to speed up plans to vaccinate U.S. troops against anthrax. Barry Peterson has more from Kuwait City.
The big concern here is that after any attack on Iraq, the Iraqis may retaliate. No one really expects them to send waves of soldiers across the border into Kuwait, but they are afraid about some sort of a missile attack, perhaps using germ warfare. Now, oddly enough, one element of that would be anthrax, and Army troops are not inoculated. None of them sent here have had those inoculations, and now it is probably too late. It takes about 18 months and a series of shots to do that. But U.S. officials say that's not a problem. They say these troops are well trained in germ warfare. They have protective clothing. They could survive such an attack, and they would keep on fighting. Not so lucky are the Kuwaitis. They're clearly very nervous. Here's a headline in one of the morning newspapers. Kuwait ready for the worst-case scenario, and there it is. Pictures of people wearing gas masks. Now, people here are sealing up windows, trying to teach their children what to do in case of such an attack. But, of course, no one knows if the Iraqis have the means to deliver or the material for germ warfare. And it's the not knowing that makes the fear that much worse. Barry Peterson, CBS News, Kuwait.
Back in this country,
look at them. Beautiful mountains. Welcome back to our CBS Olympic coverage this morning from Nagano, Japan. Good morning, everyone. I'm Mark McEwen.
And I'm Jane Rovolo. It is our last day in Nagano, but CBS Sports still has days of great Olympic action to bring you.
And we still have a lot of great stuff ahead for you this morning, including the athletes who inspired us over the past 2 weeks. We'll look back at those Olympians whose impact lasts well beyond their performance.
And you'll meet a guy who just wants to bang on the drum all day. He's a master, and he's about to perform for millions.
And it's a story for the ages. See why one man whose Olympic dream began nearly 60 years ago is finally seeing that dream realized. Time now for what we call our look away. We have the latest Olympic results and medal totals for you.
But we don't want to ruin the suspense when you tune into primetime coverage tonight on CBS. So look away right now. We'll flash the information on the screen, and we'll come on back when the music's over.
We're back.
You can come back now if you dare. Jose Diaz-Balart's here.
Where are you,
Jose?
scary?
You know what's scary, guys?
What's scary?
The lovely people at home turned away. They just looked, and look what they saw for the first time.
What are you wearing?
This is a yukata, which is kind of like a mini skirt for me.
Yeah.
But it's what they wear at the hot baths, which I'm standing right now in Nozawa. And this water right here, guys, is about 106 degrees Fahrenheit.
What's that around your neck?
This is it's a combination noose to hang me with and microphone.
So your dogs are barking, I would imagine, in that water right there, Jose.
Let's just say, Mark, that this is kind of warm. But you know, it's very cool. Check this out. And you'll see that this pool. We've got this whole
beautiful there
tour of the hot baths here. Notice that I'm holding on this part very well. I just don't want to. Woo! Okay. But, sorry. What's very cool, mountain spring water.
Why don't you pour some on your toes?
Don't drink it right out of there. Oh, no, you're never supposed to do that. I'm just teasing. I don't know.
You know what's amazing,
drink that
guys?
or wash your hands with it?
No, this you drink, Jane. There's
Okay.
some washing stuff. I've already bathed, in case you wondered.
Yeah, you bathe
But,
before you go into the baths.
That's right, but you know, how hot is this water? We've got some video to show you of just how the water here in Nozawa is. People actually boil their eggs in the water. They also boil their tea in the water.
Hey, Jose.
Yeah.
Why? Who decided the water was going to be that hot in the beginning? Because everybody I've heard from back home says they can't believe how hot the water is. Why so hot?
Well, actually, because it's, and I'll tell you more about it in the next segment coming up in the next hour. But the reason is because, thanks. Anything showing?
No.
The reason is because it's former volcanic activity. So this water is still boiling from underneath the depths of the earth, and when it comes out, it's very, very hot, and they're actually cooling it here to 109 degrees Fahrenheit.
Jose, just for the folks playing at home, do you have anything on underneath that?
You are walking into some dangerous territory asking him that question.
You're in the bath. Some people might wear a pair of swimming trunks.
Let's just say this.
Easy, Jose.
Watch the next segment
Okay.
in the hot baths. And as Martha Stewart said a couple of days ago, this is the first time I've ever done TV in my underwear.
Yeah.
Well, that's what she said.
You're just trying to match Martha, huh?
Got you covered. All right. Well, Jose, we have also the Snowlets on.
Yeah,
we have the Snowlets here with you. These are Suki, Noki, Leki, and Suki. Jose is the fifth Snowlet, Loki, which is kind of a quiet guy off to the side. These are the mascots of the Olympic Winter Games here.
Nice to meet you, sir. Welcome to This Morning. The highly sought-after Snowlets, by the way. If any of you are watching at home and you're expecting us to bring some Snowlets back to you, forget about it. You saw Hattie yesterday. Their Snowlet, everything is selling now. I was happy today to get some little Snowlet Kleenex.
Well,
and I'm not sharing them.
From Snowlets back to Jose, he's going to dry out to get a lesson in drumming from a Japanese master. That's going to be next.
The 18th Olympic Winter Games on CBS are sponsored by Nike and by Mercury. Recognizes that with imagination, we can accomplish great things. Single second of Olympic action. CBS Sportsline brings you up-to-the-minute coverage from Nagano. Get real-time scores, video features, and much more. Visit cbs.sportsline.com.
Now, you might want to drop whatever you're doing at home and watch the screen. This is 23-year-old German speed skater Franziska Schenk racing in the 1,000-meter event.
She lost her balance going into a curve. She was going about 30 miles an hour, and there's out and flew into the barricade. She was a little dazed after that, but unbelievably, she just suffered some minor bruises. She did get one cut that required a few stitches, but she's okay.
Wow.
You know, that's one of the dangers of sport, and you wonder how many times that kind of thing happens just in practice. 30 miles an hour is a
saw it a couple of times at the Olympics.
Fast. Yeah. Yep. But she didn't run into anybody else. We want to keep you up to date, of course, on what's going on at home and abroad. So now let's get the latest news this morning from Cynthia Bowers.
Phonics, martial arts, just to name a few. But did you know that there are 380 taiko drum groups in the U.S.?
You probably have never heard of taiko drum music before, but if you watch the closing ceremony this weekend, you will never forget taiko. Jose Diaz-Balart has a preview for us of one of Japan's oldest musical arts.
Morning, Jane, Mark. You know, indeed, there will be more than 300 taiko drummers playing at the closing ceremonies, all under the guidance of Japan's master taiko drummer. And I can tell you this, once you've heard the taiko beat, you'll never be the same.
You may have seen a drum group like this one performing on TV or on tour in the United States. But this particular one, the Otsuwa drum group, is the best of its kind in the world. The group is led by 74-year-old Daihachi Oguchi, a drumming sensei or master. Here in Japan, he is credited with single-handedly reviving taiko percussion music. Taiko started out centuries ago as an organized beating of drums to send signals on the battlefield. it continued to be performed at festivals and special ceremonies. But around 50 years ago, as taiko was all but forgotten, Master Oguchi discovered it, added a few new wrinkles from his own diverse musical background, and taiko was reborn. Okaya, about an hour's drive from Nagano, is the home of the group. Here, under the strict guidance of their master, members of the group make all of their drums and percussion instruments by hand. A seemingly endless ritual of stretching and tightening gives each drum a definitive sound of its own. Upstairs at the group's headquarters, you can walk amongst the master's personal gallery of percussion instruments from around the globe, perhaps one of the finest collections in the world. But it's down in the basement rehearsal hall where the group practices and perfects its art. Master Oguchi says it's a special honor for him to play his music at the closing ceremony because one of his ancestors played a taiko drum at the famous 14th century battle of Kawanakajima, waged close to the site of the closing ceremony stadium. All of us are equipped to play taiko, Oguchi says, because before we're born, inside of our mothers, we hear the taiko beat from our mother's heart. That same instinctive beat lives on in our hearts and minds, so you don't need to have musical talent to master the taiko drum. To prove his point, Master Oguchi invited me to sit in with him, properly attired, of course, for a basic first lesson. Standing across from him, watching his intensity, it was surprisingly easy for me to fall in step. I tried to challenge the sensei's skills at improvising, knocking my drumsticks to a Cuban rhythm, but he didn't miss a beat. Master Oguchi challenged me to pound out any rhythm or beat on the drum, and he would follow my lead.
There's something amazing about the many amazing things of Master Oguchi. The one that struck me most was seeing this somewhat elderly gentleman. He received us in his studio, very quiet, very introverted. And all of a sudden, when he stepped up to those drums, he just raged on, and this amazing wall of percussion just filled the room. It's amazing to see just what this gentleman has achieved, and he is the master for a very good reason.
All right, you know, Elvis Stoiko had taiko drums in his short program as he danced and skated his way to the silver medal, to the taiko drum.
It just makes you appreciate so much, too, about what Japan culture is. There's so much appreciation for ancestors. And here he knows of an ancestor who fought in a 14th century battle and played the taiko drum there, too.
Yeah, definitely. The closing ceremonies are going to be amazing, among other things, because of his participation. He says that it's probably the biggest honor of his life to be playing right there.
Oh, sure. We'll be honored to hear him play, too. Thanks, Jose. Coming up, they've lived their dreams, and through them, we've lived ours. Coming up next, some people who we've met here, an inspiration to us all.
It was like a dream.
This is the very first gold medal in Japanese Olympic skating history.
longer I'm here, the more excited I get about it. You know, just being here, and this is my first international competition. So,
That's incredible. Your first international competition is the Olympics.
The biggest, yeah. So I'm diving in with both feet.
After the crash the other day in the downhill, what does it feel like in your heart to win the gold today?
Yeah, I'm so happy today. I don't think, I never expected about this today. I'm so happy.
America has never won an Olympic medal in the luge competition. Today, the United States won 2 of them. Let's start with the silver. How big is this, Chris, for luge all over the world? You've broken into a sport that was dominated by Germans, Italians, and Austrians.
I hope that it's a big thing, and I hope it does great things for the program in the States especially.
So what did it feel like when you won the gold medal? Tammy, I want to know, right after the game, first of all, you all pile onto the ice. When you got into the locker room for the first time, what was the scene like in the locker room of the Olympic gold medal champions in women's hockey?
Total chaos. It was awesome. It was the first time we sort of gathered with all our helmets off. We got to the locker room. We had a little toast, and I know I was jumping up and down.
Most special thing I've ever experienced, and I think that it's going to have a special place.
The baby on the team, Angela Ruggiero, kissing that gold medal. We've gotten to know those young ladies real well, and that's quite an inspirational story.
And the ripples of their win will just keep sort of going further and out, inspiring young girls to play hockey. And when we were kids, did they do that? No, they will now. We'll be back.
The 18th Olympic Winter Games on CBS are sponsored by AT&T, proud partner of the 1998 U.S. Olympic team. And by Kodak Max Film. It's all you need to know about film.
It is theirs for the taking. American Michelle Kwan and her teammate Tara Lipinski set their sights on figure skating gold.
And he's realizing a dream nearly 6 decades after first becoming an Olympian. Meet a remarkable man this hour. Good morning again from Nagano, Japan. I'm Jane Wovolo.
Morning, everyone. I'm Mark McEwen. Also in our next hour, it's been a busy few weeks, and I know someone who's in a mood to relax.
I'm Jose Diaz-Balart in Nozawa Onsen. I'm in a steam bath now, but coming up later, I'll introduce you to the famous Japanese hot baths. We'll have that story coming up.
He's not being punished. Also, we're going to look back at a terrific 2 weeks and relive some of the moments that we hope will stay with you forever. It's all ahead this morning on CBS. Is a beautiful country. The people here incredibly hospitable. It's just been a wonderful experience to see them and meet them, and of course to bring it back to you. And we have to tell you something right here. Jose wanted to be in that box.
That's actually a suit Jose bought. Big suit, little wood involved in it.
We're not torturing Jose.
We're going to show him in the bath just a little bit, in a little while. A lot of littles in that sentence right there. It's Friday. Doesn't get any better than this. America's Michelle Kwan and Tara Lipinski face each other in a gold medal showdown that will likely settle who is the premier ladies figure skater in the world. You can watch the competition tonight on CBS. Kwan, the current U.S. champion, leader after the short program, was practicing today. She skates first in the final group in the competition tonight. Tara Lipinski, who is in second place going into the free skate, will go fifth, second to last in the final group tonight. Lipinski's coach says she may throw in a few new moves or jumps in to boost her performance. Now in 17th place after the short program, American Nicole Bobik's practices have looked a little like her disastrous performance. She is out of medal contention.
American hockey officials are apologizing for the behavior of U.S. players who trashed their rooms in the Olympic Village. That after they were eliminated by the Czech Republic this week. Olympic officials say that about $3,000 in damage was done by the unnamed players. NHL Commissioner Gary Bettman said that kind of conduct cannot be tolerated, that the damages would be paid for, and Mark, I have a feeling we'll hear more about this next week.
It's not over yet. Now, the team that eliminated the Americans, the Czech Republic, shocked the gold medal favorite Canadians today. Sean McDonough has more on the wild shootout at the Big Hat Arena.
Today's game here at Big Hat was billed as a matchup between perhaps the two best goaltenders in the world, and the game certainly lived up to that advanced billing. These two teams were tied at 1 after 60 minutes of regulation time. They played through a scoreless 10-minute sudden death overtime period. Then it was on to the shootout, a coin flip to decide the order of shooting. Canada would go first, and the first shooter was Theo Fleury. He was denied by the great Dominik Hasek. Wayne Gretzky could hardly watch on the Canada bench. The first shooter for the Czech Republic, Robert Reichel of the New York Islanders. He clanged one in off the goalpost. Patrick Waugh. That made it 1-0 in favor of the Czechs. Now the fourth Canada shooter, Eric Lindros, stopped on an acrobatic save by Hasek. Jaromir Jagr with a chance to clinch it for the Czechs, but he hit the goalpost. One last chance for Canada, down 1-0 after 4 shooters from each country had taken their turn. It was up to Brendan Shanahan to keep Canada alive, but he could not. Dominik Hasek stopped all 5 shots in the shootout. That's the end of any gold medal hopes for Wayne Gretzky. Dominik Hasek on to the gold medal game.
I don't know, 55 minutes we were a better team, and we deserved to win. You know, they were lucky to tie the game.
Well, it's devastation. You know, it's the worst feeling I think I've ever had in hockey. It's a just disappointment, and for me, you know, there's no question it's my last opportunity. I don't think there's any big secret about that, and probably for that matter, my last international competition.
And it'll be at least 4 more years before Canada wins a gold medal, something they have not accomplished since 1952. The final score here at Big Hat in the shootout, the Czech Republic 2 and Canada 1.
Another final score for you, Russia 7, Finland 4. It'll be Russia and the Czech Republic playing for the gold. Jane?
So many people wish they could be part of these Olympic Games. Some of them succeed, some of them fail. But few have a story to tell like the one that I heard from an elderly Japanese man. I'm at the men's giant slalom, which is finally underway after a snow delay. And just over that hill, a story of another Olympic delay, of a dream delayed, but not denied. When 80-year-old Kisaburo Seki saw the Olympic flame lit during the opening ceremonies, it was the realization of a dream. Seki has worked to bring the Olympics to Nagano since 1961. But his real Olympic dream began long before that. In 1940, the 20-year-old Seki was the finest skier in Japan. He'd worked and trained on the then deserted slopes of Shigakogen to become the national champion and a member of the Olympic team. What was it like when you learned that you had made the Olympic team?
You're skiing and training as hard as you can, and you want to become champion. But when you become champion, you can't believe that it's you.
What were your emotions when you learned that you would become a soldier instead of an Olympian?
I was devastated. I was overseas in the war for 7 years, and I came back right before I turned 30. So the prime years when I could have become an Olympic athlete, I was overseas fighting.
The 1940 Sapporo Olympics were canceled, and the young Seki was sent to the brutal fighting in China. He returned not a young athlete, but a defeated soldier to a Japan conquered and occupied by American troops. Within weeks of his return, he was summoned to the American headquarters at Shigakogen.
When I got the call, I had just been released, and I had no idea why they were calling me. My mother and sisters were really worried. What could I have done to be called in by the American forces?
But Captain Frank Laffensperger had not summoned Seki to charge him, but to ask his help in designing a ski course and the first ski lift in Japan.
I had no experience in designing, and I certainly couldn't write in English, so I made a bunch of drawings. An American had a magazine with a picture of a ski lift, and that's all I had to go on.
So the former enemies became allies in their common project, and Seki's ski lift was used by American troops throughout the occupation. Today, Leonardo's Hill, named for an American colonel who became Seki's friend, is still in use. But now Shigakogen is no longer a remote mountain area, but a jewel in the crown of the Nagano Olympics. The course for giant slalom is about 100 yards away from the Seki family ski lodge. We accompanied 3 generations of Seki skiers, the grandfather who was denied his chance to compete, a son who narrowly missed his spot on the 72 Olympic team, and a grandson who's still in training for his Olympic chance to watch the culmination of a family dream, Olympic competition virtually in their backyard. For Kinzaburo Seki, it was a chance to watch his life come full circle.
I am so thankful that I was able to live until now. You can never go back to your youth and relive your youth, but I'm so proud to have the Olympics here.
In retirement now at the family hotel, Mr. Seki passes the time with small pleasures. His main hobby is documenting his days in his diary.
If you look at my diaries, you'll see that at the end of every day I put in a big period, meaning that this could be the end, because you never know, and you have to be ready when that happens.
Mr. Seki tells me he never expected to live beyond the war, and that he's simply surprised and thankful for each day that comes.
I feel like looking back, I've done everything I wanted to do. If I died tomorrow, I would have accomplished everything I wanted to accomplish. I'm 80 years old, and every day is a plus day. If I died yesterday, that would be fine. If I died today, that would be fine. If I died tomorrow, that would be a plus.
And Mark, Mr. Seki tells me that these games are really about world peace, that it's not about celebrating Olympic athletic superstars, that it's about learning how to come together in organized sport and cheer one another on. An interesting perspective from a man who was denied the Olympics to go fight.
Who found in a photograph how to make a ski lift. Thank you, Jane. Coming up on our Olympic coverage this morning on CBS, nothing like a hot bath to rejuvenate your spirits, but in Japan, it's a social event. We'll look ahead to the Olympic Winter Games that Salt Lake City will host in 2002, and we'll look at some of the Olympic performances that will live on for a lifetime. Japan's Emperor Akihito and Empress Michiko watching the cross-country part of the Nordic Combined team event is held today on the Snow Harp course in Hakuba.
The Nordic Combined is one of Japan's most successful winter sports. They've won 2 Olympic golds in the team event. And I saw it earlier on television. He was holding the umbrella over her head.
Well, that's the job of the emperor when you're with the empress, I think, to hold the umbrella over your wife's head.
And, of course, we want to keep you updated on the latest news this morning, so we go to Cynthia Bowers in New York. Good morning, Cynthia.
Morning, Cynthia.
Part of life here in Japan is the onsen, or hot spring. You can relax in the baths and benefit from the healing powers of the waters that reach about 110 degrees.
There are over 2,000 hot springs in Japan to show us the Japanese bath culture. In the 110-degree water is our Jose Diaz-Balart, who's in Nozawa Onsen, a village with some of the most popular springs in the country. Hot man Jose, good morning.
Good morning, Mark. Good morning, Jane. I'm with Lisa Fletcher from the tourism department of this fine city. And she's going to give us a partial tour of the hot springs, the hot baths here. Thanks for being with us. Tell us the first thing you have to do when you go to a hot bath.
Okay, the most important thing is you have to wash your body before you get in the bath.
Which we already did before.
Okay, so we've got a towel here. You have to bring a towel because the Japanese would never wash their body with their hands. So you need a small towel like this.
You put the water in here?
Yeah, a tub to put water in and a little stool to sit on.
And Lisa, why is it the smell? It's a sulfuric smell, right?
It's sulfur, that's right, yeah, in the water.
And why do people come to these hot springs?
Well, I suppose stress relief could be a big one. Another one is to wash themselves. It's their bath. Especially in Nozawa.
Right.
There's 13 outdoor hot springs.
13?
Yeah, and people go there for their bath every day. Me too, actually.
That's where you take your bath?
Yes.
It's good for your skin, but there are also different things people come for, specifically if you have a back problem or asthma or something.
The one I go to is good for skin problems. Yeah, so...
I don't see you having skin problems.
Well, I did. A year ago I did.
So there you go. So, okay, once you bathe, then what do you do?
Right. This here is just to adjust yourself to the very hot temperatures of the onsen. Okay, so you need to take this, and I think it says 5 times, 5 scoops, and you just start over your legs and you wipe your body.
Well, because it's very hot.
How is it? Hot?
It's very, very hot. Okay. So you take 5 of these.
Yeah, just to get yourself ready.
And then let's go in there.
Okay. Well, actually, I have to leave you here because this is the male side. And
about 90% of the hot springs in Japan are not co-ed, right?
That's right. So, yeah, I have to leave you here.
And this is where I have to take some of my clothing off. So
you do. So
thank you, Lisa. Thanks for being with us. And now to continue our tour, Nobuhisa Noguchi.
Yes.
Thank you for being with us. Thank you very much for being with us. He comes here almost on a daily basis. As a matter of fact, he's been coming for some back problems that you've gotten solved. He's going to give us a little bit of a tour, and bear with me, I'm going to have to take this off because I'm going to be going into some of the water, so. Anyway, thank you for being with us. Tell us about this first pool.
Yeah.
This is the largest pool here.
Yeah.
And what is this used for right here?
Yeah. So this is relaxing. Yeah.
This is for relaxing, principally.
Relaxing. Yeah.
This is about 110 degrees Fahrenheit.
Right.
And what's this gentleman doing over here?
This is a bubble bath.
A bubble bath?
Yeah, good for...
This is very strong bubbles? Yeah. And you actually feel it, so it's like a massage?
Yeah. So this is a good for muscle.
For muscle relaxing?
Yeah, massage effect.
And the rest of the pool, where this gentleman is? The rest of this here?
Yeah, maybe.
Just to relax?
Relax.
Kind of swim around?
Yeah.
Okay, and what's this gentleman doing over here?
Yeah, there's a shower bath.
This is the shower one.
Yeah.
And this is for, I can see right there, it's the hot water, which is coming very strong. And this is for what parts of the body?
So maybe shoulders.
Shoulders.
The chest.
Is this ever used on the head?
No.
Never on the head. But on the back, yes. Feels good? This is all very hot stuff, and it's got a lot of minerals that are good for it. You came here every day for 2 months with a bad back, and it's solved?
Right.
You're perfect now.
Perfect now. Yeah.
And very quickly, the last two things we're going to show. What is this?
Yeah, this is jet bath.
This is a jet bath, and this is good, as we can see, for the back and for the chest, and this is very strong.
Right.
And finally, thank you for being with us. Thanks so much. And finally, we're going to go into here, which is the relaxing pool, which is where you have to just, as you can see over here, you kind of just sit in and relax. So Paul Letterman, I'm going to trust you. This is where you just kind of relax. So this is it right here. And you just sit down and you kind of take it easy.
Jose, I
Jane
see...
and Mark?
Jose, I see Spartacus in here someplace. I don't know. Maybe it's just me. It looks like a scene out of Spartacus.
There are a number of different hot baths around the country. As you know, they're very popular. And it all comes from volcanic activity. Japan has about 10% of all the volcanic activity in the world. This is the positive aspect of the volcanic activity.
Oh, it looks quite relaxing. And I've trusted Paul Letterman to a number of things, but never anything like you just trusted him to.
Jose
Enjoy yourself, Jose.
Diaz-Balart.
He deserves to relax a little bit. Coming up in our next half hour this morning, we look ahead to the Olympic Winter Games that will be hosted in Salt Lake City in 2002. Stay with us. There it is. Mark McEwen got it started, and the torch still burns. Welcome back to Nagano, which we have certainly grown fond of in our short time here. I'm Jane Robelo.
Morning, everyone. I'm Mark McEwen. There's some good stuff ahead this half hour. Actor Kevin Costner is in Nagano. We'll tell you why in just a little bit.
Also, we'll visit Salt Lake City, where they're getting ready to host the next Olympic Winter Games in the year 2002.
And we'll look back at some of the Olympic memories we think will last you a lifetime. They'll last a lifetime for us. We also want to get you the final Olympic results in the ladies figure skating competition, which just wrapped up. What an incredible show it was, but we don't want to spoil your fun if you plan to tune into the great primetime coverage tonight on CBS.
So you know how it goes. We're going to give you a chance to look away right now for just a few moments while we show you the results on the screen. When the music's over, it's safe to turn back. Don't forget to tune into Primetime tonight to watch what you just looked away from.
That's right. We want to thank Paul Schaefer and the Letterman Band for playing the ins and outs for us. What do you have there?
These are, I'm going to hold them up. Who do I show these to? A nice camera. Aren't these beautiful strawberries? Remember earlier last week, or late last week, Martha Stewart showed you some of the Kyoho grapes. Look there, all these strawberries are lined up beautifully. Now, Mika, one of our friends here, who studied in New York City but lives in the Nagano area, said to me, wait till you taste the strawberries. These are from the Nagano area. No, you can just eat them right out. Oh, that's fabulous. They're super sweet. I don't know what they do to the fruit around here. The apples are like the size of my head.
Very happy fruit.
Aren't these delicious? Too bad Jose's not here to enjoy them, but he gets to be in a bath right now.
Jose, you there?
Yeah, can you
Are you
guys
still
see me
naked?
All right? Actually, Paul, open up. I've put the towel back on.
Jose, is it because you lived for many years in Miami that you're very comfortable in the baths in a towel?
No, you're mistaken if you think I was for 1 second comfortable like this on national television.
You know,
absolutely not.
Are the baths relaxing? Can you tell a difference with the sulfur in the water?
Yes, because it's a very pungent smell, and when you get in, your skin actually feels a lot softer. But this is the piece de resistance, to use a Jane Robelo type word. These are the lovely, they look like torture chambers, but they're actually the sauna.
Is that where you were in the beginning of the broadcast? We saw you with your head sticking out of the box?
Yeah, and by the way, here it says, please open the thing to put your head in.
You remember in the old Three Stooges
Watch out, don't
movies?
shoot the bottom there.
In the old Three Stooges, they used to have people in stuff like this. And they'd come out and they were the size of kids.
Right, and Bugs Bunny, they'd come out without me.
How hot is it in there, Jose?
About 150 Fahrenheit.
Now, is that relaxing, or is that supposed to do something good for your skin, open your pores?
It's actually relaxing. Right, once you get in, you start sweating like immediately.
Now, you're pretty tall.
Yeah,
like exceptionally
my knees are
tall.
actually pushing up against the door.
Have you bumped your head in a lot of places here?
A few places, yeah. But you know something? It really is a relaxing ambiance. And people come here not just for the physical beneficial, the health benefits of it, but also just as a social and people getting together. And in the old days, of course, the entire town would bathe in one common area. And so that's maintained. It's a beautiful thing that you still maintain some of the cultural, historical things of the past.
Jose, why do you have 3 and 2, the numbers in front of you? Is that 32? Is that
Well, I'm also an Olympic judge.
Yep, so you took the silver and the bronze.
I'm giving you a 3-2 right now.
But that's his age.
Okay, Jose.
Plus 5.
Fevered brow, Jose. Someone pat that fevered brow.
Relax for us.
Good to see you, Jose. Coming up, Hattie Kaufman has a preview of the next Winter Olympic Games set for Salt Lake City in the year 2002.
The 18th Olympic Winter Games on CBS are sponsored by Plymouth. More fun, more car. That's Plymouth.
The Postman made a delivery to Nagano today. Kevin Costner was in town to promote his new movie, The Postman.
Yeah, he apparently invited all the athletes in the Olympic Village to come see the screening. About 70 athletes said that they were going to come.
Yeah, he looks good in Nagano as well as he does in Hollywood. We want to keep you up to date on the latest news. For that, let's go to Cynthia Bowers in New York.
I'm here outside Olympic Ceremony Stadium in Nagano. This is where the baton will be handed off. Make that the Olympic flag. Soon it will travel from east to west, finding a home in the next host city for the Olympic Winter Games.
One of the beauties of Salt Lake is we're one of the best prepared cities ever for the Olympics this far in advance.
As well they should be. You see, Salt Lake City first bid for the Winter Games back in the late 60s. There were 4 unsuccessful tries, then the long-awaited announcement.
Well, the International Olympic Committee has decided to award the organization of the 19th Olympic Winter Games in 2002 to the city of Salt Lake.
So,
wow.
This is what the Olympians will be racing on.
Yes, indeed. Yeah, this is going to be the slalom here at Deer Valley.
Frank Choplik is the president of the Salt Lake Organizing Committee. He says the vast expanse of Utah's Wasatch Mountains will provide the best Olympic skiing ever, especially in the downhill.
It'll be a full 3,000 feet vertical. Very, very steep start. Extremely steep finish, too.
One advantage to being ready, the ski slopes have already been tested, having hosted international competitions. Utah can now also boast having the second artificial bobsled luge track in the United States.
This one is state-of-the-art. It's very fast. It's reputed to be one of the fastest in the world.
In Nagano, travel between venues has sometimes been difficult. In contrast, Salt Lake City's superhighway, Interstate 15, is getting bigger. That will make it easier to get to Olympic ski venues, which are less than an hour from downtown.
This isn't a very attractive area of town. It is the ugliest area of town. But 4 years from now, when the Olympics are here, you won't recognize this place.
Salt Lake's mayor, Didi Corradini, is doing some major remodeling in preparation for 2002. She's turning 700 acres of blight into the Olympic Gateway.
We're doing this for the future of Salt Lake City, but we're doing in 4 years what might normally take us 10 or 12 years to do. So the Olympics gives us that pressure to get it done fast.
The Delta Center, where the jazz dancers practice and the NBA's Utah Jazz play, will instead play host to this.
There isn't a huge amount of construction left to do. We have to cover the speed skating oval, and the Athletes Village, of course, is going to be constructed by the University of Utah, student housing.
The university is also where construction crews are building the Olympic Ceremony Stadium. When the closing ceremonies are held here in Nagano, a bit of Olympic history will be made. It is tradition that the Olympic flag will be passed to the mayor of the next host city. In this case, that means passing the flag to a woman, something that has never been done before. That's it from here.
Pay attention to the names you're hearing in Nagano. You're going to hear a lot of those names again in Salt Lake City.
A lot of young people are going to be around in 4 years. Still ahead, we're going to look at the unforgettable sights and sounds of the Nagano Games.
Of the Winter Games, and there's still a lot more exciting Olympic action here in Nagano. But for us, it's time to head home. It has been an extraordinary 2 weeks here.
Let's take a moment now to look on an experience we were proud to share with you. exclamation point that answers the question, what did you do for the last 2 weeks? Michael Thompson was the producer on that. Did a wonderful job putting together some great
Tony
memories.
Hayden's the editor, too. We want to thank them and those lots of proud mamas and daddies here. Also want to thank all the folks in our studio who've been away from their families for a month, some of them 5 weeks. Know your families will be ready to see you again soon, fellas.
And the folks in the control room as well, and our executive producer, Al Berman. And
it's been our pleasure to bring you to the Olympics.
Oh, yeah, we have to say we'll be right back as well.
Yeah,
that was Laura inside telling us that. She's done a great job as well. See you in a second.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear, innovators of run-flat technology.
On this morning's Olympic coverage, here's a look at your weather.
Good morning, everybody. We've got some temperatures in the 30s right now. Pretty nice day coming for us, though. Variable cloudiness, a 40% chance of showers. A high this afternoon of 52 degrees. Then tonight, mostly cloudy and 38 degrees. Clearing out and drying out for the weekend. We've got temperatures in the 50s.
We're saying our farewells to Japan because we're going to be back in New York on Monday.
Take me home on a big bird. I want to remind you about some stories we'll be bringing you on CBS this morning.
We'll have part 1 of a 5-part series on the potential cancer risk of a common detergent used in many shampoos and bubble baths.
We're also going to talk with the gold medal winner, I'm so excited I'm rushing through it, of the incredible ladies figure skating competition.
And speaking of that, we have time now for one more look away. We'll give you the standings in the ladies event that you can watch tonight on CBS.
Turn away now if you don't want to know. Turn back when the music's done. All right, we're back now. A preview of tonight's Olympic action from Jim Nance of CBS Sports.
Coming up tonight on Olympic Primetime, the free program in ladies figure skating, Michelle Kwan and Tara Lipinski. The years of practice and preparation come down now to 4 minutes alone on the ice with the whole world watching. We'll also have the start of the 4-man bobsled competition. America's Brian Shimer is considered a medal possibility. He's been turning in some pretty good training times, too. And the women's giant slalom we'll have for you. Join me tonight on Olympic Primetime starting at 8 p.m. We'll see you then.
It has been a time in Japan, hasn't it, Jane?
It has been a wonderful opportunity.
And don't forget, there's more Olympic coverage all this weekend. We will see you back in our studios on Monday morning. It's going to feel funny, A, being up in the morning, being on in the morning, and not having that spinning around behind us in the background. I'm saying we should bring that home.
It's been a wonderful 2 weeks, and we want to thank the people of Japan and, of course, all of our fine studio crew here. Right. And the athletes who've made it so exciting, but still lots of exciting Olympic action ahead for you through the weekend.
We'll see you in New York City on Monday, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Bye-bye.